So let's get straight into it and do my first impressions of the iPhone 17 Pro Max in deep blue. Cold, fresh to the touch, but and there we have it, the brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max in deep blue. And you know what? This is the EU UK version, so it comes with a SIM tool. So that means I do have a slightly smaller battery and I can put a SIM in it. I really wish it was the eSIM version, but I don't know if that's an option you can pick in the UK or in the rest of the EU. But for us UK users, that's what we're stuck with, which is the SIM version. But what I will say off the bat, this phone does feel a bit more premium and has a much nicer feel compared to the iPhone 14. If you look at the camera bump at the back, it does have this whole new redesign, but I'm not mad at it. It has a really nice premium feel to it, and this blue, before I wasn't sold on being the best color, but I think it is. LiDAR sensor and the camera flash sensor being moved all the way to the right side, so it's a bit further away. We also have this larger camera bump, so it's much more unified. People are comparing it to what we see in the Google Pixel, but for me, it does look very similar. I think it's a little bit bigger. And also we have this whole entire chamber here, which is specifically for that vapor cooling system. So now the iPhone shouldn't heat up as much. And I guess that's something Apple thought was important to add, purely because these phones are now, I'm gonna sound like such an ad saying this, but it is the truth. These phones are now more powerful than ever. So with that new A19 Pro chip, the phones can process a lot more information. The batteries are a lot bigger. The chips are a lot faster. The cameras are processing way more information. The chips are doing way more. So long story short, the phone needs to be cooled down because it's gonna get really hot in there with it powering that whole entire phone, doing so much more. If I'm being honest, I actually do like this dual tone effect. I think it just makes it look a bit more, just stand out a bit more of a better design. I have bought a case for this phone. It hasn't come yet, but I also got Apple Care, so I'm very tempted to, for the first time, I've never done this before, but go no case for the iPhone because it does look a lot nicer than what I expected. Overall, I'm not mad. Like, the phone itself does look quite nice, and when you compare the thickness, eye inspection, you can't really tell, but the bump does protrude a little bit more. Comparing the sides, the same buttons, the slim slot has slightly changed. Action buttons are the same, power, sleep buttons are the same, but the camera bump is obviously the massive change in the back of the phone. As someone coming from the iPhone 14 Pro Max, this phone is now 3 years later, and I can tell you the differences are quite drastic. Would I recommend most people to upgrade from the iPhone 14? Yes. I'll say if you have the iPhone 15 or 16, don't even bother. The changes are big, but it's not noticeably big or drastic change. As someone coming from the iPhone 14 Pro Max, I record a lot of content, so let me tell you the main reasons to why I do not regret upgrading to the iPhone 17 Pro Max from the iPhone 14. First and foremost, I have a lot of gadgets and accessories, and having different cables was quite a pain in the backside. So the first biggest upgrade that I'm looking forward to is USB-C. Going from somebody having a lightning cable and my only device being the iPhone that used that was a little bit annoying to say the least, having to always carry an extra cable. But now I have that USB-C cable that I can use on this phone, my AirPods, my laptop, everything. Literally one cable can do me for everything. Being able to transfer files via USB-C rather than lightning cable will be so much faster and much more efficient, so I have more access to other different devices. And also, because I can record a lot of content, sometimes I don't want to keep the content on my phone's internal storage, so having that external storage I can connect direct to the phone is going to be a complete game changer. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to. Another important upgrade that I'm looking forward to is the new camera system. I record a lot of content, so being able to have access to more lenses and better zooms is going to come really, really far. I'm most keen for that 48 megapixel wide camera lens because that, for me, I always found that whenever I actually like that wide angle lens, especially when I'm doing top down videos or maybe showing something I'm using on my phone or even POV shots, the camera quality on the iPhone 14 Pro for the wide angle lens just wasn't that good. So having a 48 megapixel sensor now will be a complete game changer. But also, speaking on the camera, I'm looking forward to Pro Raw. I can finally color grade my iPhone footage, and when I'm out and about, I need to call something really quickly, I can just use my iPhone. One problem I often found in my iPhone 14 Pro Max is the fact that the brightness, the screen brightness wasn't that bright, especially in sunny daylight, to the point where when the brightness was quite low, I couldn't see anything. When I maxed it up, it still wasn't a massive game changer. But now with the iPhone 17 Pro Max coming in with 3000 nits during the day, that screen is going to be so much better. And finally, I would definitely call myself a heavy iPhone user, mainly as a content creator, creating videos, taking photos and all sorts. So having that A19 chip will be a massive game changer. But I'm keen to see if I actually notice the differences. I think the differences might arise when it comes to export speeds or editing video files, but in reality, I'll be very honest with you, I haven't had any problems when it comes to editing videos on my iPhone, but what I will say is I expect it to be a lot quicker and we shouldn't heat up as much. And then finally, battery life. My iPhone is 3 years old now, so as time goes on, the battery is of course going to degrade and get worse over time. So overall, I'm quite keen to see what this iPhone looks like, but what I will be doing is a full review once the phone is ready to go and finally usable. But am I happy I upgraded from the iPhone 14 Pro to the iPhone 17 Pro? As of today, picking up the phone straight away. From what they've told me online, the answer is definitely yes, but we'll find out in the deeper review. See you guys in the next one.